This is the video about hormones, but I want you to know that this is nowhere near covering every hormone in our body. These specific hormones I chose to talk about because pretty much everyone I know struggles with at least one of them, myself included. And again, it all kind of ties back to your gut health. And, when you hear that certain chemicals are endocrine disruptors, this is what they're talking about. This is the things that are affecting your body from this constant intake of seed oils and petroleum chemicals. And again, I know it's hard to completely cleanse your life of that stuff because they're literally everywhere. This will hopefully give us some insight as to how it's affecting your body so that you can decide whether or not you want to make those changes. All we ever really hear about when it comes to hormones are the reproductive hormones. Like women need estrogen and men need testosterone, and don't worry about anything else. And there's so much more to it than that. Everybody has, male or female, you have all of these hormones, and you need them all to function properly in order for the rest of them to be in balance. Which, the seed oils and things that we've been talking about, fragrances and all that harmful chemicals, can lead to estrogen dominance, whether you're male or female, and throw everything else out of whack. So things start happening to your body like poor sleep cycle, unexplained weight gain, it could be hair loss or mood changes. There's so many issues that are just written off as like, oh, you're just getting older, or yeah, that's just how it is to be a woman. There's nothing we can do for you. That's just life. And it's so far from the truth. And so many people get told that there's nothing they can do about it. It's just what their body does after a certain age. Estrogen needs support from healthy liver function, because what happens when you have an overload of estrogen, it all goes into your liver. Your liver's like, this is too much. What comes to mind for me is that I Love Lucy scene where she's trying to package the chocolates and the conveyor belt's going super fast and she just starts shoving them in her mouth like she can't package them fast enough. Your liver can't work fast enough to keep up with the overflow of estrogen that's coming into our bodies from all these toxic chemicals. Instead of being able to use, process, flush them out, they just get recycled back into your blood flow. So you have all these old hormones that just keep flowing in the same pattern, and your body can't get rid of them. It's supposed to naturally use the hormone and flush it out. If your liver isn't functioning properly, which it can't keep up no matter what, if you have all those other toxins in your body, even the healthiest liver is not going to be able to keep up with that amount. So if your gut health is out of whack, and you don't always know, because sometimes, bloating and a lot of those symptoms just get written off as not a big deal, or IBS is like a blanket term for any gut health issue you have. They don't try to treat the actual problem. They just listen to your symptoms and be like, yep, here you go. IBS is a problem you're going to have for the rest of your life. So when it's unbalanced, if your estrogen's too high, you have mood swings, weight gain, and then for women, heavy lady time and tenderness. If it's too low, you could have dryness, low libido, hot flashes that are not menopausal, and bone loss. It's extremely a big deal. It doesn't just have to be about reproduction. Estrogen is a big deal in your body, even if you're not trying to conceive. Talk about testosterone, because it's widely misunderstood. It needs support from DHEA, which is kind of like the umbrella hormone where DHEA comes into your body and then your body decides from there whether to put that energy into testosterone, progesterone, or estrogen, like which one needs it the most, and it trickles down from there. But if you're not intaking enough bioavailable DHEA and your body is estrogen dominant from other sources that are not natural, your testosterone will never catch up. If your testosterone is unbalanced, when it's low, you experience fatigue, low libido, low motivation. This is men or women. Women need testosterone also, we just need it in a smaller amount. Low motivation and poor muscle tone. No matter how much you work out, you can't build muscle. If it's high, acne, hair loss, and then, women can experience PCOS if you have high testosterone and the rest of your hormones are just out of whack. That third reproductive hormone, progesterone, I had to dig into a little bit more because it's not as commonly talked about, but a lot of us are low in progesterone because estrogen has taken over. It's responsible for your calm, rest, repair, stabilize, something that we could all use. It's supposed to, when it's operating properly, keep your estrogen in check, help you reach that deep level of sleep that actually restores your body. It's supposed to lower your anxiety, support your thyroid, reduce inflammation, evens out your mood changes, helps regulate your body temperature. If your progesterone is low, you will likely experience anxiety, insomnia, PMS, irritability, waking up sweaty. High cortisol and high estrogen both can knock this one down. So then let's talk about cortisol is a stress hormone, but it also is what controls your sleep patterns and your energy levels throughout the day. It's a stress hormone in the way that if you think back to primal days, cortisol is there to kick yourself into oh my goodness, we're about to get attacked and eaten by a bear. Fight or flight sense comes from cortisol, which is literally trying to help you survive. When your body starts feeling stress, the cortisol takes over and is okay, we're not going to focus on the reproductive or the digestion system. I need to focus on getting the body safe. Cortisol flares can come from hormone imbalances, but it could also come from your body not having the nutrients and vitamins and real nutrition that it needs to survive. So you're always in survival mode. Your body, your digestive system goes into survival mode and you're literally it's processing every bit it can, everything it knows how to do to keep you alive. Or it could come from things like, abuse or trauma. Your cortisol levels get really high when your brain feels like you're in danger. It's always trying to protect you from that trauma. That's not some woo-woo therapy bullshit. It is actually studied facts. But back to the sleep thing, because an irregular sleep schedule can also throw off your other hormones. So the cortisol, when it's operating properly, is very high when you wake up because it's your blood sugar gets low because you've just fasted for 8 hours or 6 hours, however long you've slept, you haven't been eating. It's wake up, we need nutrition. So your cortisol is high in a healthy, good way. When you wake up, it's supposed to be high. And then it slowly tapers off throughout the day so that when it's nighttime, it's low and you're ready to go to sleep. But your cortisol can only get low when your body feels safe. Your blood sugar starts running low. It wakes you up. That's why sometimes if you starve yourself during the day or you don't eat a good nutritious supper, then your cortisol will wake you up at 2 or 3 in the morning and think that we need nutrition, we're about to starve to death. But either way, cortisol can be triggered by undereating on a massive scale, even if it's not just before bedtime. It's literally eating away at your muscle mass because it's so desperate for nutrition that it's not getting from natural sources, that it has to pull from other sources in your body to keep itself under control. You also need adequate sleep and a good circadian rhythm, which it's just like an endless toxic cycle because they play off of each other. Your circadian rhythm gets messed up if your cortisol's off balance, but your cortisol stays off balance if you're not getting a good sleep rhythm. It can steal progesterone in an effort to replace what it's not getting. The survival mode is oh, you don't need that reproductive hormone, give it to me so I can utilize it. So let's talk about your thyroid. Basically, how the thyroid is supposed to function. Your brain sends a trigger which produces T4, that's the base thyroid, in storage form. It's not in active use when it's in T4 mode, basically. So your body is responsible for knowing when you need things like metabolism or warmth or helping your hair grow, keep your digestion moving, and supporting your mood and energy. Your body's supposed to take that T4 when you're running low on any of those things and convert it into T3, which can then be used to support all of those. A conversion usually happens in your liver or your gut. So once again, if your gut health is off track because there's so little nutrition in our food today, or if your liver is overloaded with estrogen, neither one of those places have room to convert T4 into T3. I hope this is making sense. High amounts of cortisol in your body, how many times in this video can I say the word cortisol, make your thyroid not do the conversion process because it's like, digestion, like mood support is not really important right now. We're trying to survive. The thyroid isn't something that shows up correctly on a test usually because it depends on what time of day they tested you and how much T4 is in your body versus how much of it is getting converted into T3 and actually being used. Like your body might have what it needs, but it's not doing the job properly. Vitamin D is also a hormone. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in another video, but let me just say that we have been widely misinformed when it comes to cholesterol. Your body needs cholesterol to function. Your brain lives entirely on cholesterol. Without it, you would go brain dead. How it works is you intake healthy fats like butter, egg yolks, fats from natural sources, preferably from animals, comes into your body, gets turned into cholesterol, sits under your skin, and then when you go out into the sun, it like activates the cholesterol, converts it into vitamin D. Stay with me. The vitamin D then soaks back into your body and utilizes it where you need it. And you need the vitamin D for balancing your calcium, your immune system, your hormones in general, inflammation regulation, thyroid health, your insulin sensitivity. It's kind of linked to a lot of the things we have already talked about. The other hormones, your body needs healthy fats to produce cholesterol so that the sun can then produce vitamin D to support all of these other hormones. Wild. Your body is so smart if we can just give it the nutrients it needs. So they literally have us convinced healthy fats and the sun are both bad for our bodies. So we slather ourselves in chemical sunscreen, which means that those UVB rays are blocked. Like they can't get to the cholesterol, which means we don't get vitamin D. But also, sunburn does not come from the sun. It comes from the other things that are in your body, because when you have a high intake of those seed oils, instead of having the healthy cholesterol sitting under your skin, you now have toxic chemicals sitting under your skin. So when the sun hits that, it turns it into more toxicity. Like it can't utilize and process that into vitamin D. Instead, you just basically poison yourself, which shows up as a sunburn. There are studies linked to when seed oils started being used a lot and when skin cancer started being a thing. And I'm not saying skin cancer didn't exist before seed oils, but it is directly related. All of these hormones work together synergistically. They need each other to do their job. When one gets thrown off, it's just like a domino effect of everything falls apart. None of these hormones can do their job efficiently if you're always pumping your stomach full of toxic chemicals. It's insane to me how many people around me are struggling from so many different things, but it's all tied to these chemicals that are just being shoved at us on an insane level. To think how far our culture has come into this just oblivious, toxic mess. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for the hormone video. Like I said, there are a bunch more that we could talk about, but I feel like those are the most relevant. Love you, bye.